Thanks for joining us. Nyberg is from the tropics tonight. You're going to see these large palm trees behind us in just a moment. My guest is Brandon Hall, who is the owner of ctpalm.com. All right, a palm tree grows in Connecticut, sort of, right?
Who would have thought?
Where did you come up with this idea to rent, lease palm trees in the state of Connecticut?
Absolutely. And that's probably the most popular question that we do get when people first contact us. It all started several years ago. I actually went to Mexico for a vacation. When I came back home, I was...
Where there's nothing but palm trees.
Nothing but palm trees. You come back home and then you get that post-vacation depression and you kind of miss that feeling. So I thought, you know, let me do some research. Let's see if it's possible at all, if I can just have my own tropical paradise in my own backyard. So it started small with a few trees here and there. The more research I did, the more that I realized that these trees love the summer, the heat, and the rain that we have in Connecticut. And I started doing this in my own backyard. People started taking notice. How'd you do that? How'd you do that? Can you get me a couple of trees? And then it kind of blossomed from there.
So it became a business in 2014, and as we're talking, hopefully we'll be able to shoot up higher because these are pretty enormous trees. These are called, what a great shot this is. We're in the palm room.
We are.
What types of palms are these?
So the scientific name is an Adonidia, but the more common name is a Christmas palm. So everybody can relate to that.
Now, why is that? Because they have a lot of branches coming off?
You know what? I have no idea the exact reason why they have that name, but you know, maybe like Christmas, they bring happiness to people.
All right, so how many varieties of palms do you, I guess, house? Because you do store them.
We do. We do.
So how many varieties?
So we have about 8 different varieties, and it does vary from season to season. When we go down to South Florida every year to pick them up, if there's certain palm trees that we don't usually have in our inventory, as a special order, we can certainly get that for any of our clients here, which is great.
So you have short palms, you have tall palms.
We do.
Can you actually put these in the ground from May to October, or do you have to keep them in the pots?
That's a very good question. A lot of people prefer to not have the look of having a pot in their yard, so they like them buried in the ground. So what I suggest and what I offer to a lot of clients is we can give you that look, we'll deliver it in a pot, we'll bury the pot in the ground for you, and then that way we can pick it up at the end of the year and the tree is nice and healthy and the client is happy as well.
So who typically is calling you for palms?
Most of the business we do is residential business. Now, we do a lot of rentals to other types of businesses as well, but most of it is residential homes that prefer summer rentals. May until October, they want to put trees in their patios or around their pools or in their backyard to really help to give that the tropical paradise feel.
Now, is this, I would think this would be a big thing for events, perhaps, parties, weddings, things like that?
Absolutely. We do a lot of weddings, we do a lot of bar mitzvahs, we do a lot of luau parties, a lot of stuff in New York City with corporate events. I mean, who doesn't like palm trees?
They're just friendly.
Yes.
They're very friendly.
They
now,
are.
You grew up in Naugatuck.
I did.
But you were born in New York City?
Born in the city.
Okay.
I was.
So when you started into this, did people think you were crazy?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
Absolutely. When I first pitch this idea to people, they say palm trees in Connecticut, they're just not going to grow in Connecticut. Palm trees don't belong in Connecticut. And it takes a little bit of explaining how that feel that when we deliver these, how they kind of change your whole mentality. You know, you work a long day, you come home, you're tired, you come outside into your backyard, you have the fire pit going, some palm trees out there. It just takes you away and separates the anxiety from life and brings you to the kind of vacation feel in paradise, which is great. Great stress reliever.
Who doesn't like paradise?
Exactly.
Can somebody rent these for a weekend? How do you know what to charge?
Well,
so it's delivery and things like that?
We do. I mean, obviously it varies because we do the whole tri-state area. So if you're down in New Jersey, and it's going to be a little bit more, of course, than if it's
so
a local
New Jersey,
delivery. But
New York, Connecticut.
Yeah, but we dabble a little bit in Massachusetts and in Rhode Island as well. I try to spread the wealth as far as I can.
So how, if I want them for a weekend, what does that cost?
If you just want them just a weekend for 2 trees like this, a size like this, it'd be about $400. That's it. That's including delivery. That's including pickup. Any questions, or we can deliver specialty pots. Anything the client wants to, give them that happiness they're looking for.
And if you, I love that, the happiness.
Yes.
And if you lease them for May through October, what does that cost?
So typically most people tend to get 3 trees like this. That's our average order, is 3 trees for the summer. It's about $900. So you can have 3 trees like this and really bring the tropics to your home for the entire summer for $900.
And you put them in and you take them out?
I do. I personally still do every single delivery. I want to make sure I give and deliver exactly what they're looking for.
That is customer service.
It is. It's important.
Now, when the season is over, where do these go? Do they go? They don't go back to South Florida. Do you store them?
We do. So we offer storage as well. We have a greenhouse in Cheshire, which is great. So clients will buy trees from us instead of renting them sometimes. They just like to be attached to that tree year after year after year. So we pick them up in October, bring them back, store it for them during the off season, and bring them back in May.
How many houses do you have these in right now?
Right now, this very moment,
well, I mean,
almost,
it's early,
yes.
for the season.
All my deliveries, I already have 30 deliveries set up for May alone, and not to mention all the events and things that we have throughout the summer. Most of our business is May and June. That's when we get all the deliveries out there. It's a short summer here in Connecticut, unfortunately, as you know.
Darn it.
Yes, darn it. So we have about 35 total for the season right now. That's just residential deliveries, not even counting businesses and events and things like that.
So I always think in South Florida, this is big business. They're growing the palm trees. Guys like you are bringing them to the Northeast. The first truckload you got, I guess, in 2014 when you started this business, did you have like an 18-wheeler?
We do.
What did you do?
But we still do that, actually. So we get an 18-wheeler. It comes shipped up, obviously, from Florida. We take a forklift. It's usually about 100 trees every season, and we just set them off one by one into the field. And the first season, there were some growing pains. I didn't know the proper sizes that people might want. So I had trees, you thought this was big. I had trees, twice the size,
Really?
which cost me a lot of money, and unfortunately, most people don't want trees that size in their yard. So
this is as big about as you carry.
10 to 12, yeah, 12 feet. This is about 10 feet. We go up to about 12 feet, and that's usually the max by far. Most rentals are 7 to 10 feet.
So people have 3 of these in their backyard if they want to, create a little tropical paradise. How many do you have in your yard?
I have about 17 trees that I keep in my yard year-round, which is quite the challenge every year, yes.
So 17 trees, you ever put lights in them and things like that?
Well, it's funny you ask. The lights that I have in them are only to help them stay alive during the winter, believe it or not. I put my trees in the ground. I wrap them with burlap, I wrap them with Christmas lights, and it is a process every year. They won't all make it, but some of the more hardy varieties will.
So some of them will make it through a harsh Connecticut winter?
Believe it or not. There is one of the more popular cold hardy palms is called a windmill palm tree, and it's hardy to about 5 to 10 degrees when fully mature, which is amazing for considering a palm tree.
I wonder if scientists are working on how to make these trees grow in a climate like this.
It would behoove them if they could, because I think there is a market for it for sure.
Are there plans beyond just renting of the trees, or is this keeping you so busy? This is the whole business.
And it is so busy right now. I'm blessed, and I'm grateful that it is this busy. It is definitely taken off a little bit quicker than I thought, which I'm certainly not complaining. But the plan is to just keep doing this, doing the rentals, doing the events, and hopefully it keeps growing and keep bringing the happiness to the tri-state area.
Did you ever? Obviously, you didn't set out to do this after you came out of high school. What were you going to do with your life?
Gosh, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I went to school, I took business and marketing, I took a little bit of psychology. I thought maybe I can go into the sales. I did some work as a general manager at a gym, and I kind of like that. I enjoyed being in front of people, very extroverted, I like talking to people. And this just kind of came literally, as you can imagine, out of nowhere. So and I'm very blessed.
You took that vacation to Cancun, and it was just from that this whole business erupted?
Well, it's a great question. Growing up, I remember the first time I saw palm trees was my parents took me to Disney World when I was about 10 years old. And my parents always reminded me how much I loved palm trees. For some reason, I kept commenting. I don't remember that at all. But years later, when I did go down to Cancun, like I said before, when I came home, I felt like I was missing something. And when I set out to do the research and I was able to get some trees like this in my own yard, it just kind of took off from there. Which is great.
I think it's terrific, and
Thank
I
you.
share your love of palm trees, which is why I sought you out and thought, I have to get these in here.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
So, Brandon Hall, thank you so much. It's
Thank you.
ctpalm.com, and we leave you this evening from the Palm Room.
Thank you.
Spend all night kissing and if was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm so wishing I found the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store, but mine just to save time. I'll skip right ahead to the last ride.